Look who's in the house. Me. Hi, you guys. Hi, Macro Chatters. How are you doing? Thank you so much for being here. This is the Macro Photography Live Chat Show, and I am so happy to see you guys. I'm already chatting with Becky and Pat. And Dave is here, and he's here with Silly O'Clock again because he's from England. I'm pretty sure it's England. Tell me if I'm wrong, but you rock it. All of you guys rock it. Thank you so much. I see that we have people showing up. I'm so happy that you're here because this is for us geeky people that really want to get into macro, micro, and close-up photography. And today I have two videos for you. I got some amazing questions that I'm going to answer and two awesome images that we're going to talk about. Now, I was hoping to actually just really dive into macro photography and show you guys what works, what doesn't. And I was going to do a whole Google thing. And Ashley goes, Mom, you can't do that. It's copyright problems. So if you have something that you want to share with me in the chat, we can pop it up. I am going to share with you guys. I have some links for you. So when we're talking about certain things in the equipment section, which is really cool, I've got a lot of good things that I hear questions about. So I'm going to send you links. And if you guys want to look at them, you can, or later on, no big deal. But AD is not here. Andy is actually, let me go drink water. I'll be doing that a lot. But anyways, because I have either a cold or allergies. Can't tell right now. You know, it's always in the beginning. There's always something, right? But anyways, Andy's left me. So I am doing all the behind the scenes right now with the OBS and everything that he normally does so I could just chat with you guys. So I'm crossing my fingers I don't screw anything up because he is the tech guy. I just love to chat. So it is so cool to see you. We are on show 49. I can't believe it. Just to let you guys know, I do have a 30-second delay. And if you're new and have never actually chatted with us on the Macro Show, pop into the chat and say hello. Tell us where you're at. And also sign up for the YouTube channel. I don't know how you could do it. I'm sure you could sign up down below or something. But anyway, sign up because in this way you can chat with us every other Thursday. And I have my little things here. Look, I did it. It's so funny. Oh, tech. Anyways, this show is every other Thursday. And on the other Thursday, after the opposite Thursday, so today's a show, next Thursday will either be a tutorial, behind the scenes, whatever. I just want to float my boat. It's all about macro photography and landscape photography to help you guys. So let's see. Here is the YouTube. Sullivan J Photo. So that's where I have the show. I started it with crazy all over the place and decided to keep it on YouTube, and that's where I like it. YouTube seems to work really, really good. And let's see, anything else? Oh, look, I have this little thing. Oh, it didn't work. Oh, well, no big deal. I have a little thing, says Janice. But let's see who's here anymore. Anybody else? I know there's people watching. Let me see. Oh, hi, Eugene. How are you, Eugenie? Nice to see you. It's always a pleasure to have you with me on the Macro Show. I'm so happy you're here. Oh, and then Pat says she's looking forward to the show. Oh my gosh, it's so, I have to say, each one of you guys have made the show very special. And the reason why is when you ask questions, you share images, you guys really do, make the show. And I'm just so happy that I really am truly happy that you guys are here and that we could talk about what we really love, which is, of course, the macro and getting down into all the fun goodies that we love to do, getting up close. People don't understand us. we understand each other, right? So I wanted to let you know that the next show is September 5th. It will be with me again. And if you have any ideas of what you would like to chat about, then just let me know in the Facebook group, which I'll share somewhere around in this show. I'll share the link on how you can. Actually, I want to share this link. Let me show you this before we get in. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but where are you? Hold on, I have it here. And I'm going to go to this other screen so you guys can see it. And I don't know for sure if you guys have seen this before. So this is my website, Sullivan J Photography, and I have a macro chat right here. And this is where I'll put the latest guest on who's going to be there. You can learn about the person. And here's Elise from Ireland, which is really awesome. And there you are, Becky. Look, I got you here. And then here is something that it says 0 because we started the show. So if you want to know the next show, you could check it out here. Plus, if you sign up for my emails, I always give you guys details about the shows in the emails. But here's what's really cool. If you are interested in looking at the previous shows, look, here's Harold Davis and Monica Royale and Siri, and you could just Google like Harold Feinstein, and here's Steve Gettle. Look, oh, and my favorite, Jackie Kramer. Isn't she the sweetest person? I swear, she is just the sweetest heart. I just love her. Anyways, all of this is here, and if you want to look, all you have to do, I'm going to get you dizzy right now, but all you have to do is just go in here and start typing like Jackie, and she will pop up, and there she is. So Jackie inspired me, so I'm sure that's why Who Inspires You. So anyways, this is the show that I did with Jackie Kramer. So I just wanted to show you that. Let me get into my camera here. This way, if you guys have anything that you really want to dive into, I recommend, there's tons of information now because of you guys and all of the photographers that have joined me on the Macro Chat Live show. So I appreciate you guys. Let's see. We will do my sponsor if I can figure out how to do that. I'm like looking to see, where are you? See, now all I normally have to do is say, okay, let's do our sponsor, AD. And it's done. And I think it's on, this intro. Hold on. Oh my gosh, see, I knew I was going to do that. Okay, I want to show our sponsor, and because it's important to me. So let's just do that before we really dive into the show. Today's Macro Photography Live Chat Show is brought to you by Adventurers of the F-Stop, a $29 monthly membership to elevate your macro and landscape photography and business skills. Just go to membership.sullivanjphotography.com and check out all the details to push your creations in 2018. Wow, that was quick. That's an old one. So everything that I'm doing on the show today, this is all on my OBS or my program that I used to do before I had AD as my producer. I'm like, I don't have time to switch everything out, but you guys get the hint. Anyways, the membership program is really, truly the heart of what I love to do, and that's why it is our sponsor, because this is where I work with you photographers that really want to dive in and push your comfort zone. It's only $29 a month, and if you're interested to sign up for 2 years, for a year, you get 2 months free. And I really do work. Everything that I do, I first work with the members, then I go to the macro show, then I go to social media, and then if people have questions on my, I have people ask questions about, if you don't do the membership, then I also have tutorials, like mini courses and stuff. Some people have gotten them for free for helping me with certain things, but I don't care if you got it for free, ask me questions. You got my, Eugenie, you have one. So if you have a question on any of the tutorials, mini courses that I have, I'm there for you too. So you could see that I'm really busy, but I really do care about pushing you guys, and I know how it feels to be stagnant and not know where to go, and that's why I made the membership program. So anyways, so let's go in, because I have some great Q&A. And I have to, with my heart, I have to say thank you so much, Pat, for really asking these questions, because we are going to dive into them because they are great questions. A lot of people have questions about Photoshop, or it doesn't even have to be Photoshop. It has to be about layers and what you could do with your photograph. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the questions, and then I'm going to actually go into Photoshop and show you, because just to talk about it, I'm a visual person. I'm sure you guys are visual people. So as I answer a question and show you guys something, then I'm going to come over and I'm going to look at the chat and see if you have any other questions, and hopefully I can answer. And if you guys can answer in the chat to help people, go for it. I mean, some of us are very beginnings all the way to some more advanced. And I don't even care. The most advanced people still learn something new. That's what's so cool about photography. There's so many ways to do the same thing. I love and I suck up all of that information. So if you have something that you could add to what I'm going to say, please, please put it in the chat so we all get something out of it. I really love that. Okay, so let me find the questions. They are right here. And okay, so here we go. Good day, Janice. While endeavoring to make all the best decisions in camera when out photographing, it doesn't always produce the best photo. My consistency is not there yet. I'm using editing software to enhance my photos in some way or another, using Photoshop 2019, On1 2019, or occasionally Topaz Studio 2 for something really creative. I've been trying to teach myself Photoshop with the help of great people on the internet willing to share their expertise on the subject. I always seem to have the same questions in my head when using Photoshop. So her first question is, when and why would you convert your smart image to a smart, see, look at, I read it so good, and then I can't even read the question. Let me try to get back. When and why would you convert your image to a smart object? So I'm going to share with you, I'm going to go over and open my Photoshop over here to the right, and I'm going to put in, let's see, Photoshop. And you should be seeing, look, you could see this craziness over here. This is where I look at the chat. So, but I have the screen up. I have my mess. See my mess back in here? I don't know if you guys noticed all this mess. So any of you guys that have done studio photography, when you set up your studio work with your lights and everything, it could take hours to do this. So because it's just you and me, I'm leaving my mess for you guys, because I sure the heck don't want to reset all my lights up all again, because the members know that I'm in the middle of doing a project and I don't want to mess up my lights because it took me a while to get it going. So what you're seeing now is Photoshop, and I am going to move things around so you can see. I use my tablet all the time. I love my tablet. Let me get my mic over here. You guys can see. I hope this flashing's not bugging you guys too much. I could shut this. If this area is bugging you, I will remove it. Or I could just remove me. Maybe I'll just remove me. Let me get my pen. And I'm going to remove me because I want you to concentrate on the actual image. So let me just get off of the camera, and then I'll come back on afterwards, as long as you guys can hear me. Okay, so let's see. Now, I want to share with you, like I said, that there is reasonings to do a smart object. And I want you to think of a smart object as another file. So whenever you change that other file, it will change within that layer. And you can go back to it and change it up again, and it keeps your information. And I'm going to share with you, so you're probably going like, what the heck you're talking about? Because what you say is it so that you can come back at a later date and re-edit? Would it be better to just make the image a smart object right from the get-go? So I'm going to tell you first, I'm going to show you actually first what a smart object is initially for. It's actually not even really initially for photographers. Photoshop is really a designer software. That's why it's so huge. So if you want to place like an ad in here, and then you want to, let's just say you want to place an ad right here, and then you want to place a different ad in the same spot, but you don't want to change the dimensions or anything like that, a smart object is where you would do this. Photographers, we could use the smart objects to manipulate our photographs, and if you do a lot of work, it keeps all the information so you don't have to redo it. You could just make minor changes. So that's what we're going to do now. So here is an image here, and here's my background, right? And I'm going to unclick this guy so I can make it a smart object. So you could do a smart filter, smart objects, same thing, truthfully, the way we use it, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and just go to layer, and I'm going to go to smart objects. I'm going to convert it to a smart object. Again, you have to unlock if you're going to use your main layer. Sometimes, most of the time I don't, but I'm just going to share with you what it does first, and then I'll explain about what I do. So first of all, what we'll do is we'll double click on the smart object. So now look over here, and I didn't put, let's see if I can put mouse pose on. Hold on one second. You guys could see options, and I'm going to, okay, let's just open it, because a lot of times I'd like to, I didn't have time for a video on this, so let me see. Okay, see up here where it says layer 2 PSB, pretend this is a whole separate actual file, right? And what I'm going to do now is I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to filter. I'm going to, wait, change it. I'm going to go ahead and crop it. And I'm going to change the crop. My computer's really slow. It's probably because I'm actually, wow. Oh, it's my mouse. Oh, I see. It's my tablet. It doesn't want to work. Let me push this back. It's the tablet though. It's not the... Okay, and I usually just say, yes, I want to save it. And once you save it, it's going to go over to the actual image. So now you can see that it saved it. And it still has the dimensions of your main actual image. So it hasn't cropped it or anything like that. Okay, let me share with you a different way now. Let's go to history. We're going to go back. So I'm going to do something a little different. And I'm going to make this one a smart. Let's just do filter and convert to smart filter. Okay. I'm going to share with you what you could do. So say we double click on this, and oh wait, I don't want to double click on that. Hold on one second. What I want to do is I'm going to go to filter. Let's go to topaz. We're going to do a black and white because it's so different that it will help you see what's going on. And yes, it's taking its sweet time, probably because we are online. And I'm just going to do okay. You guys can't really see topaz because it's on my other monitor, but now you can see that this is now changed. If I want to go, say later on, I want to go back to topaz, I'm going to say, okay, I've done a lot of work to do this. Say there's a lot of steps, but I don't want to recreate it again. So it's so good to be able to double click on topaz here. There's two things that I could do here with this smart filter and object. So if I want to go back to topaz, I'm going to double click, and it's going to take me back into topaz. And that is the only reason why I would use a smart object, let me get this, if I'm doing post-production work, okay? So let's show you. So here is, you know, say I want to change it up, and I'm playing with some of the topaz goodies, and I'm not sure yet until maybe a little bit later what I like, and see all these different changes. So once I push OK and I go back to the smart object, then I could go back to it. Now, I know probably, Pat, you understand that, but some people might not understand what a smart object is. So this is something that I would do, again, if I'm working with a filter or something that's very difficult that I've gone to, and like I said before, I don't want to recreate this. I want to keep things the same. So that is one reason why I would use a smart object. Now, or smart filter, the same thing. So let me show you something here. Here is a different image that I've never used any smart objects or any smart filters, okay? So here is the reason, and I'm going to tell you the reason why. So if I go to Alt and Option, here's the main image. Ooh, come on. Oh, I'm using the wrong board. Hold on one second. Alt Option. Okay, so here is my image. And I did some cleanup. This is a group. And you could see all my cleanup here. Look, there's no smart objects, nothing, because truthfully, I already had everything that I liked. Wasn't really manipulating it a lot. So I just made separate layers because every single time you have a layer, you're not destructive in your file. The file is not being destructed. You know, if I delete this, the file is still down here at the bottom. Everything's okay. So there was no reason for me to use, excuse me. Now, excuse me. I got a frog in my throat and you guys can't see me. Let me put me back on. Okay? Let me put me back on. So again, there is no reason why I would need a smart object or a smart filter for this, because as I'm cleaning things up, I already know that this beach portrait, this beach, see this is a nicked thing. I already know what it's going to do to my image, so I don't have a lot of manipulation. So if I'm working on something fairly new with this Topaz or Photoshop or something that I'm not sure of, I sure in the hell am going to make it a smart object, because this way I have all the tools. So with this whole process that I've done here, I haven't even done anything. So the question that you're saying, should I just start off with something like that? Start with a smart filter? Yes, if you're unsure of what you're going to do in the steps of your post-processing, for sure. I would definitely start with that. Another thing I wanted to share with you is, now that I have this smart object going here, okay, if I want to change it up, so let me go ahead and double click on the smart object and say that I want to, let's see, add this to this. Okay, let's just plop it in. So let's just say that I'm manipulating something, and what's great about smart objects, let's go ahead and I'll do a transform, and let me just play with this somehow and just make it kind of funky. I don't know, we're just acting out just so you could see what's going on. You never know, you might have a leaf, something, who knows what it is. So now I'm in again, I don't want to get you confused, but I double click. Now I'm in my own file. So you think of the smart object as only its own little baby file. And I just, when I'm done, I just go ahead and, oh, I have to push enter. Sorry. That's there. And then I just go ahead and say save. And let's see what it does when we get into the actual image that I've been working with. And while it's doing that, let me see if I have any questions. Ba, ba, ba. Oh, pics imperfect? Oh, I'll have to check that out. If you have a link, share it, Dave. I don't know. Oh, I don't think you guys can share links, huh? I'm pretty sure you guys can't share links in the chat. Oh, okay. So let's go back, and there is my image. Woo! Oh, see. There it is. So it's changed it all up, but say if I wanted to add something different and this was already here, then what I could do is I'll double click and say if, so what I want to do instead of that, I want to say, put this in, whoops, oh, sorry, let's move this. I need to get the right, this is the move tool over here. And I have to remember I'm in the PSB right here. So let's go in here. Did I do it? Can't remember. Okay. I'll just go see what happens. Oh, it did a layer. Hold on, sorry. What I want to do is delete this. Delete that. I'm going to try something different. I'm going to try something different. Let's see, this is the copy. That's it. And let's go in. All right, so I want to add this. Oh, it keeps going. Oh, I know what I'm doing. Sorry. Let's go here. And we're going to see, these were all, I was adding a layer. Did you guys see this? Let's do this. Alt and Option will give me each of the layers. See how the layers is? So what I was doing was dragging dodge and burn. Did you guys notice that? I don't know if you noticed that, but okay, so let's try to do this. Now I have it on this layer. Let's go ahead and let me make sure that I drag this over here. And I will go ahead and, I don't know if I think so this, we'll just leave it two different ways so you could see it. See each of the different layers, you could play with it. See, the opacity is off. Let's just leave it off. See how this is right here? We're just gonna play with it. It looks funky. It's okay. It's more about just sharing with you what you could do and how powerful these things are. And then now that I'm done playing with whatever it is, I'm going to save it and it'll take it over. Now let me know if I'm getting you confused. But these are very powerful, and I truly would use these if you have things that you want to multiply do. But if you don't, I wouldn't even bother with them. There's no reason to, because it puts more, as you can see, look at how long I'm sitting there waiting for it to chug a lug. But here is the, see, now I have 3 images. That looks horrible. But you can see what I've done. This one, I mean, you could really have fun with it, truthfully, if you were creative and wanted to play with this stuff and add more like background and, you know, look at what we could do, you know. So here's the before and here's the after by just adding the smart object. I have fun. Okay, let's see. Oh, I will stack a link in Facebook. Okay, cool. Okay, that sounds great. Thank you, Dave. He's going to put a link in for us. So let me go to the front camera. Let's see what's going on here. So Dave's going to give us a link on a great place that really dives into Photoshop and Lightroom. Okay, let's see. Okay, here's another one. This is a great question, and I'm going to get things ready because I just messed up my image big time. We're going to start from the beginning again. All right, let's see. Okay, here we go. I want to show you. All right, now I'm ready. Let's go over back to the Photoshop. Okay, and this, so what we're going to talk about now is, her question is, let me get off of me so you could, well, actually I should just go right back to me, huh? Front camera. I'm back. Oh, there it is, Janice, your host. See? What does flattening an image, merge down, and merge visible do to your layers? Are these steps all destructive, I think you meant, meaning you cannot come back later to re-edit at a later date? Is one better than the other to use? I love this question. It is so perfect. So we will go ahead and look at the screen here again. To the right, you could see that here are my layers, right? So let's explain what each of them do. So they all basically are the same. They are distractive. So they are the same. They do the same type of stuff. They take an image like this. Look at, I'll just throw all this stuff out. See how much stuff I have going on here? All these layers I have for this image. Move this out. So all of them, once you merge visible, once you flatten, once you, what was the other one? Let's see, what was the other one? It's merge visible, flatten, and I think there was another one. Oh, going down one. They all, once you flatten them or go down, that means that layer is pretty much done. So you cannot dodge and burn anymore once I flatten. So it doesn't matter where I'm at, a flatten, if I go here and I go to flatten image, it says, do you want to discard hidden layers? And I'm going to say yes, because some of the layers are hidden. So once you say, I'm going to flatten the image, that means down here at the bottom, my file is smaller because it's merged all of the stuff that you've done within those layers. And now you cannot get back to those layers if I save this. So of course I will not save this because I like to go back sometimes. So I'm going to do Command Z, and now I have my layers. So that's flattening. But again, everything does the same. Okay, let me show you what merge visible means. Okay, so let's say that let's make it easy for you to see. I don't want this on, and let's see. Okay, let's go like this. And say I don't want this on, right? So I have, this one's visible. You can see with the eye. And this one's visible, the cleanup, and of course the main one is visible, right? So those are all visible because the eye is on. These are not on right here. So when I want to go to merge visible, then what it does is the same thing, but it's only merging everything that I had that was actually live and I'm viewing. You can see here that the details is still here. I did not merge it. And the post-processing is still here. I did not merge it. But everything else that had a little eye on the side is now it's all merged together. And I cannot do anything about it. It is destructive if I wanted to go into those other layers. Did the same thing. So again, I'm going to do Command Z because I don't want to do that for this image. What I personally do is when I have, these are all Photoshop and On One, I have everything as PSD, because even On One I can save it as a Photoshop file. So this is what I do. Everybody could be totally different. If you want to say to yourself, okay, I'm working on this image and it's still not completely done, then save it in like a Photoshop. And then once I'm done, or I feel that I'm done, I still keep my Photoshop file. And the other file, what I do is I go ahead and flatten or merge visible or whatever. And then I will save that as a TIFF, save as a TIFF. So all my TIFFs are for me, done. And means they're ready for print, they're ready to be sold, whatever blah, blah, blah. Of course, we always go back and change things. And that's why I like to keep my Photoshop files, because then I like to see what I did. If there was something that I really liked, I'm like, oh, okay, this is what I did. And then the merge down is the same thing. So you have all the layers. The layer is selected at the top. You click merge down. It just merges it one layer down, one layer down, one layer down. And it's doing the same thing. And yes, once you merge them, that's it. So I hope I've answered that question okay. And your fourth one, I will check again. I have 30 seconds, so I could take a sip of water and see if you have questions, and then we'll dive into your last question. Okay. Okay. So far, I don't see any questions, but I'm delayed. Okay. Let's get into the last one. And again, you could still ask questions if you want. So let's answer the next one. What is the difference between using layers / adjustment menu and opposed to create new fill or adjustment layer from the bottom layer panels? This is where I'm going to need I think I might need your help on this one. Is it only that choosing from layers panel that you can target a specific portion of the image? Is one destructive and the other not? And I'm going to read this over again because I butchered it. Okay. And we will go into Photoshop again to talk about this. Let me get into a puppy. Okay, we'll go into this one. Okay. Let me read it again. What is the difference between using layers adjustment menu opposed to create new fill or adjustment layer from the bottom layer panel? Is it only that choosing from the layers panel that you can target a specific portion of the image? Is it destructive or is it not? Okay, I got it. Let's go back to Photoshop. Okay, let me get out of me because I want you to concentrate. So we're going to get out of side camera. Okay, so here we have my background, right? We're going to play with this. Now, I think this is what you're saying. Now, there's 3 different things I actually want to share with you. So we have here the adjustment area, right? And what is this one right here? We're going to go to, I don't want to do that. One's boring. Let's do hue and saturation because this is so saturated. You're really going to be able to see what's going on. Okay, so we'll go to hue and saturation up here. Oops. Let me just delete this. Delete. Okay, we're going to start over. Let's go to hue and saturation. Instantly, when I do this hue and saturation, I have a new layer that is not going to be destructive to the actual layer below it because it's separate. It's only on top, so you're okay. You automatically can play with your hue here if you want and change things up. You can play with your saturation and you can play with your lightness and darkness, right? You can even play with your colorizing and doing all kinds of stuff if you want in here. So let's say now what it does is automatically gives you a mask, which is really, really cool. So that's what's so powerful about having masks. So say if I'll take my paintbrush and I have it on black, and say that I am going to paint, let's see what I have it on, flow 51 up here. See, I always got to pay attention. Okay, so let's just say that I don't want this area, that I'm just like, okay, no, I want this to really pop. So I'm going to just paint this back in, right? So now you still have your image below and everything's good, no problem. It's just a layer, and that's just how that one works. Now let's turn this off. We're going to go back to this layer. I'm going to highlight it. Down below is basically the same thing. It's just a different way of doing it. There's so many different ways of doing it. Everybody, likes different, I don't know. We all have our certain things that we love to use. So say if we want to go down here, we go to hue and saturation. It does the same thing as what it did at the top. So let's go ahead and delete that. What I want to share with you is another way to do this. So if you're going to go to layer, new adjustment layer here, and then we're going to go to hue and saturation. Now this one is more, let me put me in the camera. So this, where are we at? There it is. This is when you really are getting detailed with your image. So say if you're going to say, okay, I'm really going to hone in on something. Let's just say greens, right? I'm going to hone in on greens. So I'm going to name this layer greens. You can change all of this here if you want. You could do it automatically. It's just a fast way of doing things. You could actually even say that you're really getting into detail and only your greens, you want to make sure that this is what's helping you focus and get organized. So I've changed the color of the actual layer green. I'm going to go okay. And now I have the same thing. See, if I double click here, I have the same thing, but now it has a separate layer with the actual information that I put green. I've actually went ahead and made a color so it can help me, because I know that in the future I'm going to really hone in and play with some of the images, more detail, and it's more of an organizational thing. And then again, because this is, it is a layer, it is not messing with your main layer down here. So you could do whatever you want, and then you can play with masks again and just have a field day and just have a lot of fun there if you want. And again, it is non-destructive. So let me know if that has answered your question while I drink water. Oh, good. So Pat, understand that one. So let me know if you understand the difference between the adjustment layers and all that stuff too. And I will answer your questions, no problem. I'm probably going to wait. Let's see what you guys are up to. I'm going to do critique time, and we're going to talk about 2 amazing images. So let me, again, I could go back to, Photoshop, no problem, all right? So let me get into critique time. So this is actually a really fun time, because a lot of us have the same type of questions when it comes to critique. And it's not really about a critique that's just going to dive in. It's just some general information to help you and everybody else that's out there photographing. And that's what I love to do that. So just like Dave had said, we have a macro group, a macro chat group. And so you can, here it is. Let's see if it's right here. Did I do it right? Facebook groups macro live chat. I did it. Yay! So I tell you, AD is going to be so happy. Oh my gosh, I forgot to do my video. There was a couple of videos that I wanted to share with you guys. Well, let's get into the critique, and I'm going to share a couple of videos with you. They're only 2 minutes long because, oh yeah, I think it's only in the equipment area. I can't remember. But let's go into, if you want to ask questions, and you don't have to do the Facebook. You could do it on my website where I showed you before. But I want to go ahead and get the information. I'm going to say don't save. I'm going to shut down Photoshop, okay? Because I really want to get into these images. I'm going to put Lightroom up, and we're going to talk about them. So the first one is going to be from Brian. And let me get things going here. And I will get Brian up. I just got to move things around since I have 3 different things up here. Pat. Oh, okay. Let me see what she says. She says, partly, but what about the very bottom of the layer panel where you choose to add a layer adjustment? Is it destructive or just the same as the others as it is on its own layer? Correct. Because it's on its own layer, it will not destruct your main image. So just think of it like this. Here is your photograph, right, at the very bottom, and you're going to stack it like cake. You're going to have your next layer, but it's not going to disturb the bottom of the cake. Then you have your frosting your cake, and it will never destruct what's at the bottom. That's why I always love to save. I personally take my first image and I copy it, Command J. So I always, people say, why do you save your first image? Because your first layer. And the reason why, and if you need me to show you, I will, okay? So in Photoshop, my first layer, I come in, I automatically do a copy of it. So I can drag it down to the bottom to copy it. Control Command J copies that layer. And there's 2 reasons why. I don't ever want to touch my main photograph. It just kind of freaks me out, gives me anxiety. And another reason is, like I shared with you, I went to Alt and Option and I clicked on the very bottom. I can always see what I started off with to see how things have changed throughout the layers. So that's what I personally do. So let me know if that has answered your question. Okay, let's go and get Brian's image up. And I will read his information when I get over to Lightroom. And let's go over. There's Brian's image. And I don't know if he's here today. I haven't seen him. Okay, so this was a shot of our garden. This was shot in our garden temple. The lynx spider is on a ginger leaf. Originally there were 2 spiders, but it was a better shot with just 1. I also flipped and flopped the spider to have her stand on top of the leaf. I was inspired by the soft focus workshop. That's really very cool. I hope to inspire people to never give up the good fight with this very aggressive image. Life is neither easy nor fair, which is not to say you shouldn't make a good fight. Like this lynx spider, we should all fight to the last breath. So he shot this with the Sony Alpha 868 Tamron, and he used a 90mm macro lens. He used ISO 100, and his shutter speed was at 1/15 of a second. And he was at f7.1 with natural light, and he used a soft focus. And his he was using Capture One to actually post process. So I love this. It's very beautiful and very powerful. So this is something that is really neat because even though Brian knows the reality of what's going to happen or what has happened to this spider, we do not as the viewer. But I feel like he has really captured the moment of a fight and the aggressiveness that's going on within the spider, the way the light is hitting it, the way the way the spider, the way he positioned it. I like the composition. I like everything about it. The only thing that I could really say, Brian, is to pay attention to chromatic aberration. And see these little blue things right here? That's just something that happens in the camera. And you can fix that in Capture One. This is probably some chromatic aberration too, or even some bouncing off, but I think everything else is really, really cool. These little teeny little things pull our eyes to your subject. And I'll tell you, Brian, you're just getting more and more. I'm really enjoying your images. They're really getting strong. So I love the colors. You've done a great job. Now, I love your story, but just to let you know, for me, this is more of, yes, you could tell this spider is definitely trying to either fight or is aggressive, and I think that you have nailed it. I just think that maybe just getting it a little bit deeper and just like cloning this out, maybe painting in some color just to blur out this green and the chromatic problems that we all get, and then it'll be like perfect. I just love it. So great job, and kudos to you. All right, Pat, we're going to go into yours. Let me get that next. And let me move this over. And where are you? I know you're here. I've got your image right here. And let me go down here. Here's Pat's. And let me just do this. Okay, so here's Pat's beautiful image. Coco Loco. My Coco girl's trying to get on me. No, Coco. Okay, so here, look at how beautiful this is. So let me go ahead and read. I made the attached image this morning and thought I would include it in an email. And wow, it's a beauty, I'll tell you that. The image was taken with my Fuji X-H1 with the 85mm lens baby. My settings were ISO 200, f3.5 approximately, because lens babies, it's hard to, they don't tell you. And she took it at 1/25 of a second. So I'm probably butchering the name, because if you watch the one with, I'm so bad with these names. My Inchakia, the flower, as well as the blurred black-eyed Susan's backgrounds were in open shade in my backyard. The sun is just coming over the top of my house, but the sun is reflecting from my neighbor's upper window down into my scene. The flower is held with a third hand, so I was able to place it where I wanted. Reds and yellows are so difficult to light. Probably a diffuser would have been a good thing to have used, but I could have not have diffused the background. I was actually trying to see how far I could push the histogram on my camera and then see how much I could recover in post. She said, might have pushed too far as it took considerable editing to get to this point you see attached. What she says, well, I know how far to push the histogram. Kudos to you. Awesome that you're pushing it. That's exactly what I love to hear. She says, I make photos. Oh, shh. Coco. Sorry. I make photos for myself, mostly macro, but occasionally landscape. Recently I opened an account with 500 pics under Pat Dugan 61. So those of you under 500 pics, check her out at Pat Duggan 61 and follow her and let her know that you found her from the macro show. Not in hopes of selling, but for feedback from the creative community on the site. I'm grateful for everyone's comments and encouragement that they took time to look at my post. Honored to have been followed and added to galleries. Took a very long time for me to feel that I have a creativity to warrant people stopping by to view my photos, so I never post to the public. I have a great way to go. Oh, no, you don't. She says, I have a great way to go, but I think I'm on the right track, and I want what you want out of photography. And then she's so funny. She says, "Phew, that's what happens when you're retired. You become very long-winded." I'll tell you, Pat, you and I are like so perfect. You are not long-winded. I feel like the more that people tell me, the more I can understand you guys as photographers to help you. So no, please always feel to keep writing these things. I love when you do this. So never feel that way at all. And first of all, I have a couple things that I want you to, she says she was, I want to talk to you about on this image. She says she was thinking about using some textures, perhaps blurring out the background, maybe try tomorrow. It's so funny. So, and then she also says that she enjoys the macro show. So thank you so much for showing up, and I totally appreciate you. Yeah, very cool. So I will have something to say to you. First of all, you're way too hard on yourself, girlfriend. This is absolutely gorgeous. We all are like this. Ashley even tells me all the time, I'm like this too. And it's just, you just have to get out there and start sharing your work, and you just got to do it. And it's so difficult. I understand. So I just really love this image. It's gorgeous. The colors are perfect. There's only one suggestion that I have for you. Okay. And I'm actually going to show you. Let me get over here. I'm going to change things up a little bit. I'm going to show with you the development module. And I'm going to remove this off, and I'm going to take this over so you could see it. Okay. So again, you know what? It's just gorgeous. It's beautiful. The composition's pretty. The colors are pretty. Very nice. This is just a suggestion. The only thing that I could say is that when we have corners like this that are bright, if you want that, that's fine. The only thing, seriously, that I could even give you a suggestion on, because I think this is so elegant and beautiful, is that on the right side, when I look at everybody's images, she gave me a really good close-up image, and I just love it. I mean, I would print this really big. It's very clean. She did a lot of work, and kudos to you for doing all of this. There's a couple things I would change, just a little bit, nothing really big, okay? Just because when people print, I would want somebody to buy this. But this area right over here, I think what I would do, and this is, again, just my tip, let's get this over, is I would take the brush and I would go ahead and, I was in the brush. So I would take the brush over here to the right, and I think I would just paint in a little bit more of the color that, oh, look, it's even showing that. Let me see something. I want to fit it. Okay. So I would just paint in some of the color, and the way to do that, Andy says I could just go, this is something I learned from him. I always used to just try to pick the color that matches over here. You could see to the right. These are the colors. So this, what I would do is I would close it in. So I would pick a color, and I'm going to do something little. I'll do the little dark one. So here's one color, and you'll see over here to the bottom right that that's the color. And then I would feather it, and depending on the flow down here at the bottom, and I would just play with it. But I would not just use one color. That's where I think people get a little messed up. What I would do is pick another greenish color, yellow color, and then just start painting in a little bit, and just doing that to, add a little depth. I would never just keep things the same. And that is actually getting too much. So let me see if I could add, let's try this. So I would probably just go ahead and add some yellow maybe. Oh, I don't like that one. But I think you probably understand what I'm saying. This is a little, let's see. Well, that's not bad. Can you see that it was moving? So if I go around and move this, you could look on the top right. You could just pick, once you get the colors, you could just pick it and then play with it and see what you like. And I would just sit there and actually, to tell you the truth, I would go ahead and just play with it just a little more and maybe add a new one and just fill it in. Let's see. Just fill it in a little bit. Just playing with it and just kind of messing with it. So just to show you, here's the before, and that's a little too much. That's way too much. I would actually just, we're going to show you real quick. I'm going to delete that. I got the delete. And then I'm just going to, there we go. So it's so small, before and after. See how it just brings me in a little bit more? That's what I would do. That's the only thing, that I could say, that instead of having the corner remove me and make me, let me go to my front camera. You caught me. Instead of going and actually feeling like I'm going away from the flower, it will kind of bring me back in the flower. So that's, like I said, that's the only suggestion. Dave says, don't fix what ain't broken. I love it. That is so perfect, isn't it? Oh my God, that is so perfect. That is great. Yeah, it is beautiful. And I think she's really hard on herself. Joe, I know you're really busy. Can you add me to your list? I don't know. I don't know what that means. Oh, thank you, Janice. Can you also paint with color in Adobe Camera Raw? Yep, the same thing. You could do everything in Adobe Camera Raw, which I rather do because you could do it in a layer. Do a layer and then do Adobe Camera Raw and paint it up just a little bit. Like I say, just a tad to keep you back into the frame of your flower. That's the only thing I'm thinking, is just kind of a little bit of a triangle thing. But yeah, I would totally do that. Okay, it's already an hour, so I'm going to do really fast equipment time. Okay, I have some links for you guys for equipment time. I'm super excited about, it's about tools, and, we all have these questions. And Pat, like I said, you're too hard on yourself. You should be trying to, I love it when you guys share your work and spread it to the world and give it, sell the stuff, because it have someone hang it up on the wall and, get another lens for it. So I want to share with you a couple of goodies. So let me get over there. And, oh, that's the Mac Paw. I want to show you it's up to you when it comes to pricing. People have a hard time when it comes to pricing. So I want to share, let me get out of Lightroom over here so I could share with you. Over here, I'm going to share real quick, just a couple of links. And I think I'll put it in the chat real quick. Let's see, pricing your work. So one of the things that I use, I use actually a Photo Shelter. And Photo Shelter is a company that they use the software to help when it comes to pricing your stuff. And a lot of people get confused and not know what to do. So this is the software that I used to use, and I think that you guys would really enjoy it. And let me push this. Hold on one second. You can hear me? Okay, let's go here. Now, I used to use this all the time. I just put it in the chat. So if you're having a hard time when it comes to pricing, check them out. Yes, it may cost stuff, but like I say, I use Photo Shelter. It actually embeds into what I license my images out. So it's standard what everybody else is charging. So this really helps you, okay? And then what is the other ones that, oh, and a lot of times people, I found this out from Harold Davis, and I just love this. And I'm going to share this in the chat right now too. Of course, it'll be down below. But a lot of people, oops, crap, sorry, wrong one. So a lot of people get flustered. You know, people are stealing our images all the time. We work so hard for them, and it's frustrating to have that happen. So this area, this one that I'm just sharing with you, let's do this really quick because we're almost done with the show. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. So let me go over to the right screen again. And let me take me out. Let's do, yeah, side camera. Okay, so this is Pixie. And what it does is it matches your images. So if you have your image, like an image in here, you can see some of my images. They'll match and see who is actually stealing your images. And they will help you when it comes to, I need to log off because I guess I'm on. I'm always on this. So let me just do this real quick so you could see. And I'm on it for free. But if for some reason that someone's stealing your work, they will match it. And when Harold told me about this, I was like, oh my gosh, I love this. And especially if you're in the United States, they tell you what you could do to help you, email the people that's stealing your work. Like I said, there's cases that, they'll help you. Of course, I'm sure there's a fee, but if you don't know what to do, and I'm actually doing this, I found this from Harold, but I wanted to share this with Stacy, one of the members. I'm working on a copyright. I'm working with her. I'm making a video for her on copywriting, which you guys will get once I'm done. I'll put it in YouTube, so you guys look out for that soon. But she asked about copywriting. This is one of the things that I'm going to be sharing with her and in the video. But I wanted to share that with you. And then also the photo, let's go back over there to the right screen. And then here is the photo software. I use this for years, and it really does work well when it comes to knowing what to, how to charge people and feel comfortable. And you could read, and they have a blog on how to charge people for your, to learn about stuff and how to, do invoices and all kinds of stuff. So I wanted to share those two tools for you guys because I get a lot of questions on that, and I feel these are great tools for you macro photographers to really think about going out and pushing yourself. So if you have any, did I do Pixie? Yes, I already did Pixie for you guys. So I think that's it. We've gone over. I'm talking too much, but I really hope that I've helped you guys and got you going with photography and new tips and anything else. And of course, any of you guys watching the after show, just ask the questions down below and I for sure will answer them, I promise. So again, if you're new, subscribe to the channel. You can see this show every other Thursday, and then the following Thursday after the show, you'll get a little tidbit. And if you liked it, how about a thumbs up? And of course, we always say share it to your friends. But if you have any macro people that you would like to join in and chat, sheesh, Dave gets up at in the middle of the morning. And what I haven't seen is we have a couple Irish friends. I haven't seen them today. So if you guys are watching the replay, hello. And just to let you guys know that our next show is September 5th. And again, in the macro group, let me know what you guys want. And I totally appreciate you guys asking me questions. I love to help. And I love for you to share your 1,000 words. And Pat, you are like a lot of people. Don't feel bad about yourself and your images. You're way too hard on yourself. All of you guys, get out there and work hard and push yourself out there. I know you could do it, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Thanks so much for joining me on the Macro Show. Have a good one. Cheers, everyone.